72 tonight, chance of thunderstorms. Partly cloudy tomorrow, chance for storms, highs level off around 86. Get weather anytime by calling 824-6101 or online at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 72 degrees.
WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station. It's time now for your expanded local news. Registration for the 2025-2026 school year is now open for returning students in the Taylorville School District. Online registration begins Wednesday, July 16th through Skyward Family Access. Parents needing login info should contact their child's school. For families who can't complete the process online, in-person help will be available July 31st from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at each school. Note that there will be no paper registration for returning students. New and kindergarten students should call their school to schedule a registration appointment and bring proof of address. The first day of student attendance is Thursday, August 14th. For more information on fees, health requirements, transportation, and orientation dates, visit the full story at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. The Christian County Genealogical Society and Illinois State Genealogical Society are promoting their upcoming Family Research Day. The event is scheduled for July 20th from 1 to 4 p.m. and will take place at the Pence Building at the Christian County Historical Society. It's an opportunity for people who want to learn more about their lineage to work with those who can help. Vonna Crowder and Sally Cray are with the CCGS and ISGS respectively. They say the event will help visitors at any stage of their genealogical efforts.
And you can come in and ask anything that you need to know. We can help you with several things. Do you want to start a family tree? Did somebody do DNA and you need some help? Do you need to know information on your grandparents? It's just kind of open. You can come in and ask whatever you want to ask.
And if you've done that DNA sample and you don't understand the results, we can help you map out those results and tie into those cousins that you may not know or recognize the names of.
We usually try to do a program once a year. We do other programs also. We do a cemetery walk every year. We do this program every year. Last year or the year before, I can't remember. We had a DNA speaker. We just try to vary it through the years of different things, but at least once a year, we'd like to have a family research day.
When tracing one's lineage, it can help to branch out the search. Maximizing the breadth of the search increases the potential connections to someone in the family tree or to other interesting historical events.
And that's also just a little hint of how sometimes you could focus on your tree and you don't find a lot because he was a farmer here in Christian County, but his brother might have been a legislature representative, or he might have been a banker and moved out of this county to another state. But sometimes you can do what's called a fan, friends and neighbors, and you can find other hints of what happened to your family by searching the lateral line.
And when you think about the years that Lincoln was here and when he went through the state doing his speeches, you know, if you've got ancestors that were in those areas, chances are they went and listened to Abraham Lincoln give a speech. And when you think about, you know, walking in those footsteps and experiencing history firsthand.
Genealogists get much of the information that they use from census records. These sources contain more data than many people realize.
It's wonderful.
The census records have so many columns, and a lot of people don't realize that all of the information in those columns are very, very critical to what you want to find out. And, you know, there's even a couple years that tell us how many children the woman has that lived and are currently alive in 1920 or have passed away. And so when you're trying to establish a family group, you know how many people that, you know, you'll want to be able to find and look for to expand your search.
Some people think that they can do most of their genealogy online, which I have no problem with that, but you don't necessarily see, like Sally said, the whole census record. And I mean, that's a perfect example. It'll tell you where they lived. It will tell you how many children the wife had, whether it's the first or second marriage in some of the years. So, I mean, that is always just a big help.
The two genealogical organizations are hoping to pique interest in young people and their family histories. One way they are doing this is with a new initiative in line with the United States' 250th anniversary. It's a way of highlighting those who served in the armed forces many, many years ago.
ISGS has a Prairie Patriot certificate. So if you have an ancestor that served in the Revolutionary War and lived or died or was buried in Illinois, we can have a certificate made. So your pioneer, your patriot is recognized, and you're establishing that lineage back to a patriot that fought for our country 250 years ago.
Our Christian County Society is working on a Patriot program. We don't have it completely finished out yet because this county is different than if you did the whole state. So we have so many towns that would not be in 1818 when Illinois was founded. For instance, Tovey and Kincaid and that area, because they didn't come into being until the 1900s. So we have to do it a little bit different than the state does with different levels. But we actually are working on a program. We hope to have it up way before next year with the anniversary.
More information on the Christian County Genealogical Society is available at christiancountyilgenealogicalsociety.org. More information on the Illinois State Genealogical Society can be found at ilgensoc.org. Vonna Crowder and Sally Cray appeared as guests on the WTIM Morning Show. The Illinois State Police remind drivers to be mindful around motorcycles on roadways. This comes after the agency reported 4 deaths from crashes involving motorcycles in just the last week. The ISP urges motorcyclists to wear protective gear. This includes a helmet, eye protection, a sturdy jacket, pants, boots, gloves, and reflective clothing. As for drivers of other vehicles, they should always look out for motorcyclists as they are smaller and therefore more difficult to spot. Drivers should keep a safe following distance behind motorcyclists as they may slow down without braking. In addition, remember that motorcyclists are entitled to the full lane and may move around in the lane to avoid debris or turn more easily. Data from the National Highway Transportation and Safety Administration, or NHTSA, shows that 47% of deadly motorcycle crashes from 2013 to 2022 happened over the summer. They add that motorcycles make up 3% of registered vehicles, but 12% of deadly traffic crashes involve these vehicles. More guidance from the Illinois State Police on sharing the road with motorcyclists is available at their website isp.illinois.gov. This will conclude the first portion of your expanded local news, brought to you by Taylorville Community Credit Union.
This is Will Perkins with Taylorville Community Credit Union. Are you looking for a great CD rate? If you are, TCCU has amazing rates from our 7-month special to our 60-month CD. If you are looking for a great investment, now is the time to put your money to work in a TCCU CD. Our minimum deposit is $1,000. For more information, please contact us at any of our convenient locations in Taylorville, Pana, Hillsborough, Litchfield, or online at tccu.org. Dividends will be compounded monthly. A penalty for early withdrawal may be imposed. Fees could reduce earnings on the account. Member NCUA.
The Taylorville Food Pantry isn't quite sure what to make of their most recent numbers from May, with total number of individuals served dropping slightly, but new households increasing greatly. 1,050 people were helped in the month of May, with 54 new families utilizing the pantry's services. Amy Hagan and Pam Moses are co-coordinators of the Taylorville Food Pantry, and they provide the stats for the most recent month.
We served 392 households. We served 1,050 individuals. There were 54 new households that came on board with us, and a total of 248 different volunteer incidences for the month. So I just always am stunned by those numbers. The number of households that we served last month was actually down slightly from 2 months prior, and as compared to last year as well, which is trending in the right direction, as is the number of individuals served. Was down lower than at the end of last year by 170 people, which, like I said again, is kind of a stunning number. The thing that really is a bit of a head scratcher, I guess, is that we had 54 new households last month, which, is just a stunning number that many people would continue to come through our doors that have.
The Stamp Out Hunger food drive concluded last month with a whopping total of 61,000 plus pounds being donated. Hagan says much of that is thanks to a local legend named Termite Durbin. Since 2018, when the TFP began keeping track of the donations that were made, nearly 700,000 pounds of food has been collected from this effort.
I can't say enough about the folks at the Thunderbird and the Friends of Termite Durbin. That guy is, honestly, he'll go down as a legend, I think, as it relates to the way that he's done things for our community, specifically as far as the food pantry goes, the fact that he orchestrates in correlation with the U.S. Postal Service food drive. Recalling he was once a postal carrier. He was once a rural postal carrier. And so a lot of people know Termite from those days, and he makes this drive happen. In relation to how much he's done so far, the total is 698,492 pounds. And that is the total that's been collected from Friends of Termite Durbin since 2018, when we began tracking the numbers of his contribution to our food pantry. So almost 700,000 pounds just from him and the work that he does for our food pantry each year.
Additionally, the Taylorville Food Pantry has many local businesses and grocery stores to thank for their contributions. Hagan explains what the Food Rescue Program is and how the community supports them.
Participated in the Food Rescue Program since December 15 of 2015. And basically what it is, we have volunteers that go around to a number of retail locations in town multiple times a week and pick up things that ordinarily would go to a landfill. From the standpoint of environmentalism and standpoint of just food waste, it's important that we have a partnership like this. Walmart, Kroger, Aldi's, CVS all take part. And the Taylorville Food Center.
Dollar General.
Thank you, Pam.
Mm-hmm.
And since inception, we have collected 912,773 pounds. And I was just commenting during break that probably by first quarter of next year, we will exceed the 1 million pound mark.
McLean and Ron's Produce as well. Got to get them all.
Pam Moses goes on to tell that most of this food is destined for the landfill for little to no reason.
There's one bad apple in the bag. They toss the entire bag. We pull the bad apple out, clean the rest of it up, put it out because 95% of that bag of apples was good. So, and that's what we're rescuing, right? We're rescuing the good produce or the bread. The new bread comes in and they've got all the bread that hasn't moved. There's times we get racks and racks of buns or bread or whatever it is, and other times we don't hardly get any. So it just kind of depends on what's moving at the retail side. So but yeah, it's a huge impact. It's whether it's fresh produce or breads or sweets and meat. I mean, we get a lot of meat. It'll go up and down. We won't get any for a while, and then we get a bunch. I mean, we talked about just last weekend, we had over 300 pounds of meat that came in from the retail side. Value of that's over $1,500 that we as a food pantry did not have to go out and purchase. And it's available, and we put it in our new freezer. So our patrons and neighbors, they can look in and see what they want to pick out.
Learn more about the Taylorville Food Pantry at taylorvillefoodpantry.com. Amy Hagan and Pam Moses appeared as guests on the WTIM Morning Show. As summer arrives, furniture trends are shifting towards comfort, flexibility, and sustainable design, something Wright's Furniture and Flooring is seeing reflected in customer choices across the region. President John Wright says that the summer 2025 season brings an emphasis on natural textures, warm wood tones, and pieces that are easily movable between indoor and outdoor living spaces. The business notes a rise in demand for certain materials and sustainably sourced wood, as well as interest in bold silhouettes and earthy color palettes. Vice President Alex Wright says the trends reflect a broader push towards purposeful and functional design. Wright's Furniture and Flooring is a fifth-generation family-owned business and is celebrating its 136th anniversary this year. With locations in Dietrich, Robinson, and Taylorville, the company offers furniture, flooring, and interior design services, as well as window treatments through its Wright at Home store in Effingham. This will conclude the second portion of your expanded local news. It's brought to you by CNB Bank and Trust.
Looking for more from your checking account? With CNB's Premium and Gateway Checking, get buzzing benefits packed with perks that pay. Protect your phone with cell phone coverage. Save big on prescriptions, eye care, and hearing services with health savings. And shield your identity with ID Theft Aid. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and access over 400,000 discounts from local shops to national brands. Switch to CNB Premium or Gateway Checking today. Download the Buzzing app and start saving. Visit cnbil.com or stop by your local CNB branch. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Reflecting on 34 years in the classroom, Ralph Allen is the Illinois Ag Educator of the Year. He teaches down in Mount Pulaski. Allen has 4 grown children, and he's taught all 4 within his classroom. Moving now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and are brought to you by Sutton Memorial Home.
This is Chad Sparks.
When you lose a loved one, your choice for making final arrangements should be with the compassionate family at Sutton Memorial Homes. They know the death of a loved one is difficult. Austin and Evan at Sutton's and the entire staff have devoted themselves to loving and caring for those in their community in their time of need. You can trust Sutton Memorial Homes to assist your family in making final arrangements that will be a tribute to your loved one. Sutton Memorial Homes, caring is what they do best.
92-year-old Twyla Campbell of Mount Auburn died on July 6th. Visitation is today, July 11th, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. Funeral service will be July 11th at 12 p.m. at Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. Burial will be at Mount Auburn Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. "94-year-old James Bryan Freeman Jr. of Taylorville died on July 3rd. A private graveside service will be held at Camp Butler National Cemetery, with funeral arrangements being handled by Asali Funeral Home in Taylorville. 97-year-old Ellen L. Davis of Taylorville died June 30th. Memorial service will be July 13th at 3 p.m. at Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. Private burial will be at a later date. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. Get details on these and other local news stories at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com or on WTIM. WTIM is your only local news radio.
This is Black.